Hey guys, today we're lucky enough to have CJ doing a live build for us. CJ is one of our pro builders at Blueprint, and he's going to be building a legend style Town Hall 14 box base. I know you all love this style of base. Super toxic and super reliable on defense. Hello CJ, welcome to the stream.
Hello, Hope. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, today we're building a box base. Last time around, I was on stream. I made a NT3 a bit creatively. This time around, we'll be making a box base. I'll try to make it a bit creative, but I can't make promises because almost all box bases look similar in a way. So it's really difficult to make it creative. But I'll give it a shot. We'll see what we come up with.
Go
So,
ahead.
yeah. First, we dropped Town Hall. As I mentioned before last time around on stream, I said first I place my Town Hall and then I work around it by placing my key defenses, my Infernos, Scatters, Eagle, and so on. So we're going to have the Town Hall right there. And for box spaces, it's absolutely a nightmare to have singles behind it because it's annoying to charge. It makes Queen Charge Hybrid a lot more annoying. So we're gonna have actually two singles behind Town Hall. I'm gonna try to make it a bit toxic.
Ooh, that is toxic.
Yeah, let's let's make sure we place the Inferno on the correct tile so it's all symmetrical because box spaces need to be symmetrical. Um,
Yep.
see, it was right here, I think. I think that's correct. But let's see. As I said before, 1, 2, 3, count diagonally, and you can tell if the queen reaches the Inferno or not. So once I do a bit of this, we know that the queen can't reach the Inferno from the outside layer here. And with box spaces, you have to be keeping in mind of the attacks that usually triple box spaces, and that is, I'm sure, hooked. You've done this yourself before as well. A queen charge Lalo with triple hero Sui into the Eagle with a log launcher and the queen charging into the scatter eventually to Town Hall.
Yep.
We've seen a lot of those on box spaces, and they're quite difficult to stop. So we will try to keep in mind of that attack while building to try to stop it, because if we give too much value to that log launcher, triple hero charge, and queen charging into the scatter, then the box base will have absolutely no chance in defending. So, 1, 2, 3. We need to make this one tile bigger.
Yep.
Go.
I was about to say that. I thought I was going to get you there for a second.
Are you gonna be checking my every single move just to catch me?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. So as I said, we need to be careful of wall break into the scatters. So we're gonna make actually a dead zone as well in front of the scatter to make it so the wall break doesn't target the actual wall in front of the scatter shot. So count 3 diagonally once more. Go like that. And yeah, then make a little dead zone here as well.
Ooh.
Let's go all the way here. We see that. That's where it's not reachable. There we go. So we're gonna have this exact compartment that we just made right here, as well as right here,
Yep.
because obviously it's symmetrical.
Yeah.
Again,
Box
same thing.
spaces. Oh, sorry. You go.
No, go on, go on.
I was going to say, chat, box spaces have to be symmetrical because otherwise you're going to have one side that's stronger than the other, and it just makes it really easy to attack. So
Yep.
you have it tough from all sides, and then generally you'll probably bait one side, and the attacker just has no idea. Also, chat, if you've got any questions, please ask, and I'll try and pass it on to CJ. But I'm pretty sure he's doing a good job of answering any question you could possibly have at this point in time. Space is
Yep.
looking super toxic.
As you can see, we're just copying the right side and the left side, so it's really just the same thing as we did with the right side. We're just doing it at the left side as well. I'll do a bit of this. That. Mm,
Chat, this trick he's doing with the diagonal is so handy. I know back when I used to build bases, you always just do it to be safe. Like, you already kind of know it anyway, but it's just like, just to make absolutely sure. Because the last thing you want to do is make a base like this where suddenly you can reach the scatter from outside the base. So just that diagonal trick. Three diagonal.
yeah,
Hey, Elliot.
there we go. We have the scatters down, the two singles down, and we obviously need to make our core. We're gonna have a core multi in this situation, and perfectly, it's not reachable from either of the scatters, which we love. Um, and the ego compartment, let's make a little, not a dead zone, but a little compartment into here, and we can have the ego sitting right there. You can slowly see the skeleton coming along. We have the three infernos down, the two scatters down, and the eagle. These are essentially the key defenses. Next up comes scatter shots. And now it's kind of looking similar to every single box base in the world, but I'll try to make something creative with the expos if you give me a moment.
Ooh.
um,
Take your time.
need to make sure that we close this eagle compartment, then actually leave that wall open. And we're gonna have a 2-tile gap, big dead zone compartment. Perfect. We have a trash ring as well. Do that. And we leave a gap again open on the left side. Again, symmetry important with box spaces. And there we go. Slowly but surely, we're getting there with the key defenses. I'm
Question,
gonna have,
sorry.
yeah, go on.
Ooh. With those open corners you have on the eagle compartment,
Yeah,
I know some bases they don't have the open wall on the corner. They have it like one around from the corner, and they have like a flat side. Is there any time you
which
ever do
corner?
that?
This one?
No, the outer part of the base, those corners.
Oh, these. Yeah.
Now, some bases have a wall in that spot, and then instead to have the open wall one tile back, so you'll have like a line. So it gets harder for like the queen to wrap around and go in. Is there any ever a time when you do that?
Oh, I get what you mean. Yeah. So like, little something like this, I guess.
Well, yeah, you don't necessarily have to overextend it, but yeah, have the
Yeah.
open wall back around the corner. Do you ever do that?
Well, I haven't actually tested that. I've seen a few bases like that, but I myself haven't tested it. The reason why I do my little open wall in the corner there, especially on a box space like this, is because you don't really want a wall break to be so easy for the king. So he
Yeah,
would have to walk his king from here and funnel anything that's here to walk it into here. And having a gap here and a gap here makes it so that basically the hero dive into the eagle just walks out again or
yeah.
walks from here again. That's the whole idea why I have it open in these corners. But I actually haven't tested the corner that you mentioned. I might do that. I might do that sometime and see how if there's a big difference.
Yeah. I think the main thing is it just makes like queen charges much harder because if you can't wall break, you can't get the queen to walk in as reliably. On the plus
Yeah.
side, Hold My Beer is in chat and he said I got it. So he knew what I was trying to ask, but then he also said I don't know how to explain it. So we tried our best,
So it is
chat.
your fault.
Yeah. Oh, it was always my fault.
All right. So let's get back into this little base. As you can see, we have the eagle down, scatters down, the triple infernos down. Next up, I'm gonna start focusing on. Let me actually close this down hole compartment. We don't want to have it open, obviously. Let's completely finish the skeleton before moving on to the expos. We have 33 walls left. We can make a little compartment here as well. Oh, yeah, there we go. Make it right there as well. And slowly you can see the dead zone finally being done. Oh, that's perfect. We have 3 walls left, which is nice. We can play around with those 3 walls, see what we can do with them. So, skeleton is pretty much done now. we're going to be placing our expos next up. And with the expos, I need to keep in mind the flinger value and places where people are going to send their suis. Because expos are important against suis. So as you can see, I don't really have a lot of space to work in this scattershot compartment, so I can't really place an expo here. And plus, I absolutely hate placing an expo where it can be reached from the outside by the queen. So if you see a base like that, that's definitely not my base. I like to keep my expos away from the outside. We're gonna have the expos actually on either side here. And I said I will do something creative with the expos. So let's try to put an air expo behind Town Hall. Place it like that. And an air expo behind the Eagle.
Ooh.
I've not seen a lot of box spaces looking like this, so we'll call this a little bit of a creative
Yeah,
creative box
it's
space.
different. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
And the sweepers naturally are going to be in the core against random spam entries that come along here or here. So these sweepers are actually quite nice. And especially if somebody decides lallowing Town Hall from an angle, it's going to be quite annoying with the sweepers as well. The sweeper placements are actually quite nice in there. I'm going to keep these as well, just like that. So it's a bit annoying for wall breakers to target this wall. That's perfect.
Ooh, good point.
And we're gonna have two builder huts into this eagle compartment just to for any warden walks or healing the key defenses back up, because you want to make sure your key defenses have builder huts close to them so you can make sure they get repaired if something goes wrong in the attack.
Yep.
And with the heroes, we usually see air targeting hero that would be the queen or the RC into one of the scattershots compartments. So I'm going to be adding my queen at the top here, actually, and my RC at the bottom. And I wouldn't put the heroes, because sometimes we see the king and the warden near the town hall compartment, but on this base, I don't think it's a good idea to have the king and the warden on this side. I think it would be better suited in the eagle compartment, actually, supporting it. Just like that. And as you can see, the base is slowly coming along. I think it's looking actually quite nice. But now we're going to move on to, after I place my expos, I like to move on to my air defenses. So
Fair
with air
enough.
defenses, you need to be careful with lava hound pathing towards them. For example, I would stay away from placing air defenses close to scatter shots unless you're planning on using a double black mine by the air defenses, because lava hounds distract the scatter shots and they're tanky, and the loons move in on the scatter shots, and you do not want that. You want to keep the air defenses away, so lava hound comes, scatter shots retargets on the loons. That's very, very important, because you want the splash damage to be on the loons, not on the lava hound. So I'm going to be placing my air defense here in the 6 o'clock compartment. And with symmetry, we know box spaces are symmetrical, so we're going to be placing the same thing here. Now, I know you're telling me, be careful of the blizzard value right here. I notice it as well, and we're placing a bomb tower right there. That just negates any blizzard. Nobody in their right mind would drop a blizzard on a bomb tower, because the bomb after the bomb tower absolutely destroys them.
Yep.
So we have that sorted, and we have another blizzard value right here, which we need to be careful of, because a hero, 2 key defenses, and CC pool is not good at all. So we can either bait that with 2 black mines quite easily, if we make sure our second air defense is pathed in a way so that the lava hound doesn't lure it, so he can't drop it too high up here to lure the black mines, because then the lava hound would target this air defense instead. So it has to place it a little bit more downwards, and with the lava hound pathing, it absolutely skips these 2, and we can make it just like that as well. So these 2 black mines pop it, and it drops here, and we can add giant bombs and so on to make the blizzard die quickly.
Yep.
So, and with symmetry, we dropped it at 3 o'clock. We're going to drop it at 12 o'clock as well. And after dropping my air defenses, I'd like to move to the second most important splash damage, which is gosh, I can hear myself from the stream. I need to mute. I'm going to be dropping my wizard towers. They are also very important against splash. Let's see, for the best placement for the wizard towers, we're gonna go with can go with two right here. Perfect. We can no, we cannot place them here because again, same thing with the scatter shots. I don't want the wizard tower targeting the lava helm. I want the wizard towers to target the loons
Yeah.
instead. And there we go. Two
Um,
right there.
One question in the chat, sorry. So
Yeah.
someone's like, what if spam comes from the back end with like a super archer clone? Like, do you do much to stop that, or do you just kind of have to let it?
Oh,
Because
we
that's
that's why we
quite
have a NATO.
popular at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we have a NATO. See, that's the thing with Legends box spaces. You have to see what trophy range you are at. Different trophy ranges have different attacks in them. So if you're higher up, you might witness those super archer blimps, and you have to make sure your NATO is behind the town hall. But if you're, for example, in the mid range, or let's say a lot of people do smash or Quinchajulalo, it's better to have the NATO in the different positions because the NATO is really important in stopping attacks. And
Yeah.
if you have the NATO behind the town hall and somebody doesn't go into that trap, it's a waste of a trap. So you have to keep in mind what trophy range you are at and what attacks you need to stop. Check your logs and see the defenses and see how many hits you're being hit at the most. Obviously, you cannot stop every single attack. You need to just see what attacks triple you the most and bait that one. And then the rest can triple no problem as long as you have a few good baited defenses. That's all that matters. Um,
Fair enough.
let's see.
Um,
So we
Also,
have
chat. Sorry about the stretch resolution. It's good enough. It's just unfortunate that phones are really long these days. So, like, you can all understand what's going on. I'm sorry about it, but should be able to still understand it.
yes, I play on my phone. I am very sorry.
Absolute
Do
noob.
have an iPad. I do have an iPad, but it's not here unfortunately, so I could not have used it. Now I'm looking at the space and I'm trying to see where I can get two pieces of wall. I know you guys can see these ones right here, but I do like the little free space there because I want to push this compartment, make it a little bit bigger to fit a storage and a archer tower just like that. Oh, for now I'm gonna do this. Have a storage archer tower just like that. Push this defense like that as well. Okay. And we need to figure out what we're gonna place here. Trying to find we could always just push the sweepers really 2 tiles up, just like that, and it's sorted.
Yep.
There we go. Looks quite decent honestly for a legend space. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
it
mind
does.
using this. So we need to now think about our mortars because our mortars are quite important when it comes to Legend League. Because flinger value, you absolutely do not want to give a lot of flinger value. And one thing I see people doing, and they might do, is start Queen here, Walker to the right, flinger to the left for Town Hall somehow. So I'm gonna place mortars right here for potential flingers to Town Hall. And there's also a charge. If somebody somehow wants to charge two singles head on and send a flinger for the scatter shot, they might. So we probably have our mortar just like that. Need to get this one
Yeah,
just like
that's
that as well.
exactly what I was gonna say. The flinger for the scatter shot. I think you'd see a lot
Yeah,
of armies do it on this base.
yeah.
So yeah, got to protect those scatter shots.
You have to protect those scatter shots. And I think flinger from the bottom here, I need to stick the mortar to the scatter shot, or else the mortar will be out of range of the flinger. So it's better off to make it stick to each other just like that.
Ooh,
I can push the
interesting.
king upwards. Yeah, because not if I had the mortar like this, let's say, the flinger still can reach the scatter shot. So it's kind of pointless if I have it like this. It doesn't. It's not all about making it look cool. It's about making it actually work. So I'm gonna stick to it. It might look a bit ugly at the moment, but it's better have the mortar working and getting some value on the flinger than it just staying there doing nothing.
Yep.
So now with our mortars down, we can move on to our archer towers and cannons. We need to add DPS where it's actually needed. Let's see. I think it's quite obvious that the scattershots don't have a lot of DPS, so we need to add a bit of DPS here. I would do so by adding an archer tower and a cannon. That's a bit of DPS on each side, and obviously we need to move this by one tile.
One. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
because yeah,
have you started thinking about like your Tesla farm yet? Because obviously Tesla farms are like probably the most important thing I've seen on like box spaces that can surprise people.
yeah, I've thought about it so far. I see potential places I can place it. Um, Eagle is one of them, obviously. And I think the most likely one or the nicest one would be in a scatter shot down here at the bottom.
Yep.
Um, but it also depends on what range you're planning on using this box space. So if we want to go for a higher range, we definitely should think of high range attacks and plan on placing the Tesla farm accordingly. Um, but yeah, it's gonna come very soon. The Tesla farm is coming very soon. Uh, we spread the DPS here at the bottom here as well because of symmetry, and we're gonna need an, as you can see, my wall glitch is absolutely beautiful. Let me
Yep.
save, do that. There we go. That usually fixes it. We'll probably add an archer tower on this side and an archer tower on this side. Then probably cannons over here and here. Can bring it a bit closer and add that one piece of wall. And there we go. Looking, we'll probably add two storages in this compartment as well. And the final two storages will probably go in here because there's no storage in the scatter compartment. So just like that. And we have two archer towers remaining and two cannons, which we can play around with. Let's see. Looking at DPS, could be a good idea to have a bit more DPS on the town hall side here and here. And the final two archer towers could most likely be on these sides. But let's move on to trash and see where we can play around with those two archer towers. We also have a builder hut as well, which we'll use in a bit. We can place them here and here, but we'll see. We'll see where we need a builder hut at right now. Let's start with, I would like to start with the army camps in each corner, or should I, let's see,
So you're
because
just
of
getting some
symmetry,
trash down.
yeah, I am very OCD-like person. I want to make it absolutely symmetrical in every way. So to make that, because obviously we have five of these big trash, so we need to make it symmetrical somehow. So this way it's symmetrical in a way, you can see, with each one in corner and one right there. Um, and now we, obviously this is not for ESL, so I can actually place barracks here. But if this was for ESL, I highly recommend having more collectors. Actually, I'm just going to place collectors here anyways because better
And
having
that's
them
to
around town
stop
hall in general.
sneaky gobs for the town hall, yeah?
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
correct. Because Soham made our lives more difficult with sneaking town hall. So
So I
to make
made
sure we stop that.
everyone's lives more difficult, but it wasn't just about the
Yes.
sneaky gobs.
It's a bit harsh. Hooked. Don't need to do that
Mate,
to the man.
nah, Sim can take it. Yes, you will get the base link when this is finished, Zocker. We will spam it in the chat, but still got a little ways. The process got a little more to do. Also, hey CCL, good to see you in the chat, man. Hope you're going well. Sorry about the overlay, but we deal with what we had to. Also, we got a great question earlier from Sai. Let me
Mm-hmm.
see if I can find it. You might get a laugh out of this. Oh my god, it was so far back. Hello, CJ. Wondering if you found a barber for Alex yet.
Oh, um, I do, but Alex needs to buy a ticket to Norway. That's the only issue. And I will take him to my barber. He's one of the best barbers there is.
Well, anything's better than what Alex is putting up.
Oh, you have no idea. I had a good laugh looking at his picture. Have you seen the picture that he's talking about?
No, I haven't.
It,
But
it's the when Blueprint tweeted him the new edition. It's a very cute bowl cut. You have to see
oh, I mean, he's quite young, so I'm not really gonna blame him.
it. So,
And to
slowly
avoid
coming along.
e-drag chains. So Nesta's asking about like e-drag chains because obviously Legends League you see e-drags as much as any other army. Are you like actively thinking about that when you build a base?
Again, depending on the trophy range, honestly. And yeah, you need to make sure to kind of keep storages away from key defenses at the same time because you don't want that chain value to be insane. So we can just move this one tile to the right to avoid it hitting the scatter shot. We can move this one tile. And what is going on here? Here we go. You can move the storage as well one tile away. Oh God, one tile away just to avoid that chain. And
Um,
the chain here, it doesn't hit the eagle.
One
But
sec, sorry. Your the quality on the thing is dropped through the floor.
yeah, well, about the E-Drive chains, as you can see, we moved the storages one tile because it was like this before. Moved it one tile to the right just to avoid the chain onto the scatter shot.
Yeah.
Um, and the same thing here, obviously. And here it does not chain the eagle. Here it chains the town hall, but not the end of the world if it does, as well as here. So again, depending on the range, because some ranges you don't find a lot of E-Dragon attacks. It's you find it in the higher range, you find quite a few spammers, but again, you see more Hydra than E-Dragons, I would say. So
Yes.
so it's really depending on your range again. That's the tricky part about building for Legends League. It's all about knowing the range and knowing what the defender is getting hit mostly with. That's when you can work around the base and trying to figure out the best traps and placement of storages and so on. But right now, trying to figure out where I should place these archer towers, and I think I'm gonna switch these right here because I want something air targeting over here at the bottom. And we have these two archer towers to place with, which we can always move this down here, this here, have an archer tower just like that. Same thing here. The one thing I hate about open walls is this little gap you see in the
Yeah.
corners right here. Quite
Yeah.
annoying, but there's a way of dealing with them. And place this just like that as well. Just do that.
Yeah. You just have to move it in one.
Yeah. So far, looking good. The base is almost done. I actually quite built this quite quickly on a stream. I've never built a base this quickly on a stream before.
Yeah.
But
No, you're
it,
making good time.
yeah, but it looks quite decent, honestly. If there are changes you want to see, Hooked, you can tell me. If there's something you noticed, something weak, um, I
Yeah.
can
The
change it right away.
no. The only I was interested by the airbow behind the town hall because I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of armies you'll either say super archer clone or clone balloons and that airbow is just going to get kind of wrecked no matter what. Plus by having the airbow there you have like one of the builder huts is forced to be one tile off the single, which just means
Hmm.
um, better chains. I actually thought you were going to have like the two airbows like next to the two ground bows behind the eagle, like where the two builder huts are at the moment, if that makes sense.
Mm. So you were thinking like this.
Yeah, and then like a row you just got the two builders behind the town hall.
I mean, I can do that, but the whole idea was trying to make the base look a bit more creative, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, you
So
see a lot of bases like this with the four
yeah,
rows on the back end.
exactly. But we
That
can do
was the
this as
only.
well if you want. We can keep the
You're the
base building
base,
like
but
this.
chat. I'm not going to pretend to be the expert. CJ's the expert, and we're going to defer to his judgment. It was
No,
just the only
this
idea
does
I
look
had.
alright as well. No, I wanted just to make something a bit different, but this as well looks quite good. It can be used for Legend League. It can be used like that. The two builder huts, we can place them like this, so they reach the scatter shots, because currently we have nothing on the scatter shots, and we want a builder hut to reach the scatter shots. You can see just like
Yep.
this, it looks quite nice. We have two builder huts on the town hall as well, quite important. And it leaves as well a little bit more space for the NATO to work with at the same time. So this does look quite nice. We can have that, and we can remove this one piece of wall and add the sixth builder hut right there just for symmetry. This piece of wall, quite annoying because there's no other place to place it, so I'm just going to place it down there because the whole base is already symmetrical, and adding it to one side will just make the symmetry go away, and I do not want that. So
No.
I'm going to place it just right that in the middle, and there we have it. And now we move on to a very, very important part, the traps. Trap placement. Obviously, we have 4 expos here at the moment. So it would be quite unnecessary to place the Tesla farm as well, because it's quite difficult enough already with 4 expos for any kind of hero dive or sui. So it would be unnecessary to add the Tesla farm there. It will become too much and make other parts of the base vulnerable. So we can place the Tesla farm in a place where there's not a lot of DPS, and that is the scatter shots. So it's all about which scatter shots you want to bait, because you obviously don't have infinite number of Teslas. You need to know. I wish we did, but we need to know which one we're gonna bait. Um, and because of people are more right-handed, I would say you see a lot of people would be attacking from this side. So if we're trying to stop a spam entry, right, it would be kind of unnecessary to place the Tesla in this compartment, because the initial spam is going to involve early warden, and the troops are just getting the Teslas quite easily. So it would be quite smarter to place the Teslas on the back end of the spam. So the attacker has to get through that on the back end along with the air hero. Something looking like this, let's say,
Yep.
for the back end and for the back end heroes as well. So Tesla's here is quite nice. And I think I'm actually going to go for Tesla's right there as well. But if you do end up using this base for ESL, if you decided, let me run this base for ESL, I do recommend actually, and especially if you're facing a good team, let's say, for example,
Sorry,
Tribe
one sec.
Gaming somehow,
Sorry, CJ, one
is
sec. I'm
the
gonna have to disconnect it. It's gone pixels again.
yeah, if you're gonna use this for ESL, and let's say you're facing a good team, let's say you somehow manage to get yourself against Tribe Gaming, and they obviously Rikira is, let's say, use Suilalo or any other good Suilalo clans that use Suilalo. I do recommend having the Tesla farm on the right side here instead of the left side, because uh, with Suilalo, they're gonna try to get the town hall with the queen and the hero on the scatter with the other two heroes and Lalo the rest. So I do recommend, and they would most likely go from the right side because most attackers are right-handed, and they would. It's nicer to drop the queen here and try to funnel her to town hall rather than here. I don't know if you know about that hooked. It's even though it's symmetrical, but
Yeah, everyone has a
dropping it from the
preference.
right side. Yeah, and most people go from the right side. So if you are gonna use this for ESO, I recommend move the Teslas to this compartment and place your skellies, at least 2 or 3 in this compartment for Sui Lalo. That's how you could try to bait the Sui Lalo. It's quite difficult because skellies to distract, freezes, invises. It's very hard to stop Sui Lalo.
Um,
But nevertheless, because I'm using this for legends, I'm gonna place the Tesla farm on the back end of a spam attack, which is important, very, very important.
Ari
Like that.
asked in the chat, what when building, what's the strategy you primarily try to defend? Need to know so I won't hit your ESL bases with it.
uh, oh, this is tricky. Uh, Blizzard Lalo, and the Sui Lalo. don't do those attacks. Those
Now I
two
have no
attacks.
idea if he's being serious. Like there's some serious mind games going on here now.
There's a lot of my games at the moment because I know an attack that I bait quite often, but I'm not gonna say it. But I'm gonna just say Blizzard Lalo and Sui Lalo. So you might try do that attack as well. Good luck.
I already can't
In any
Lalo
case.
anyway, so it's
Oh yeah, true.
pointless. Yeah, exactly,
But yes,
Zoro. Sorry, go on.
I'm gonna have the Tesla farm here on the back end scattershot just for spam attacks. And I'm gonna have quite a few skellies here outside, just like that. And the NATO we agreed to have behind the town hall, and I'm gonna add a few giant bombs here just for those super archer blimps. And since there's no better place for spawn bombs than behind the town hall, I'm just gonna place them right here. And if you are facing Soham, place the small bombs right here. So they kill the sneakies that he sends for the storage, just to piss him off, because you need to do that. He made our life more difficult. Um, and for the remaining traps, we have two skellies remaining. We can place one in the eagle compartment. The eagle compartment is very strong here. The amount of DPS here is quite nice. So having one skelly is quite nice to add to it, just to distract the potential king Sui into here. And the remaining last skeleton trap, I'm gonna put it in this scattershot compartment, and just because the above one has two, and I want to have something down here as well. In any case, and I'm gonna add the two giant bombs in this compartment as well. Obviously, don't have space to put it here because of the Tesla, so I keep it like that. And the last remaining giant bomb can always add it right here as well. Again, sneaky town hall, get wrecked. So we're gonna play with the red bombs. Red bombs, I'm gonna have 4 in the single compartments. Obviously, single is not a multi, so they don't damage loons as quickly as a multi does. So I'm gonna have 2 red bombs on each single, so that obviously for splash damage, if loons come to it, they get hit with it and they die much quicker. And the remaining ones, I'm gonna add here 3 just like that for the air expo and the multi zone right here. And I always love having at least 2 black mines into my multi compartment, just for a potential slammer somehow making its way down there. 2 black mines right away just to pop it, or even against spam entries. It's important to have centralized black mines against E-Dragon attacks, because they start with an early warden, and then the E-Dragons are vulnerable later in the attacks. So centralized black mines are perfect against E-Dragons. But we also need to be careful of a potential blizzard into here, as I mentioned. So I'm gonna take
Well,
this giant bomb actually.
I was actually going to say something a bit odd. So you've got
Yeah.
all these SAMs at the moment. Do you not? So, because that compartment there looks like it should be baited, do you therefore not put the SAMs there? Because,
Mm,
like, if I'm hitting
mm,
this with Blizz Lalo, I don't know if you can lure the CC if you Blizz, like, just the Town Hall, but the scatter comp. Uh, ooh, you that or like the scatter comps because you can get like 2 bows on it, which is my fault.
mm,
And a scatter and air hero, that's pretty good value as well, right?
mm. See, that's the thing about Blizzard Lalo. You need to, because obviously if we put this in scout view and we come across this base in a legend attack and we see this dead zone, you would be like, oh, this is baited 100%, right?
Yeah,
But there's a few players that absolutely don't care and send the blizzard anyway,
true.
and they and they get the insane value and the base gets crushed. But honestly speaking, I don't think there's a lot of them that do that. So we're gonna instead try to stop a blizzard into here. I'm not worried about the town hall a lot, because if you send a blizzard from down here, you don't really like, you have to be quite close to the town hall. So you have to be around here to get the CC lure, and because of the invis timing, you're gonna be constantly invising. And depending on what you have in the CC, you potentially might not even get a full CC lure.
Yeah,
So I don't see a point in even dropping black mines here. Instead, I will actually go for the one you mentioned, because I forgot we added the expos here. So it's important to make sure I don't give off too much of a blizzard value and even potentially against a Yeti bomb flying into here for CC lure and the scatter, because some people do use Yeti bombs. So let's turn off scat view. And we need to make sure the lava hound doesn't trigger. So if we drop lava hound from here, it will still go to this air defense. Need to make sure the pathing of the lava hound as well. Okay, and remember somebody's dropping the blimp from here on around. So I'm gonna have it just like this, potentially even like this. It doesn't lure. Gonna have to actually test this during testing because I'm not sure if this black mine is gonna get lured at all because it's going like this towards
Yeah,
the
it's
air
super
defense.
close.
Yeah, it's gonna be super close. So that's why testing is important as well, Legend League spaces, because you want to see if this actually works. This little black mine trick here. But yeah, gonna have to test this. Even if we push this right here, we can always also do this. Then the attacker can't really place it too low. You can see.
Yeah.
So they have to place it a little bit higher, or else the lava hound will target bit this air defense right here. I mean, so we're gonna have this for now. We need to make sure we do the same thing here, and I'm gonna bait only the right side because I need to make sure I have black mines for the eagle compartment, and I need to make sure I have a few for the town hall compartment, and I can't go around only baiting blizzard level base. So I need to just trap one side, and I feel like the right side is the correct side to trap on a base like this for Legend Leagues, because most people will most likely drop their blimps into here rather into here, because it's just preference-wise, I see this happening quite a few times less than this one right here. So if you catch them with this bait right here, it's perfect.
Would
And
you
if it pops,
then? Sorry.
yeah.
Would you then move
Go
like
on.
your CC one tile down because it's slightly offset to the top side? Because I
Well,
know like
that's the thing with the box spaces. There's always going to be an offset of CC because you can't have it because the CC isn't big as town hall. So if the
yeah.
town hall was in the middle, it would have been perfectly symmetrical. But because of CC, how it's shaped, you're not going to have a perfect um,
So
shape.
if you
So if we have it like this, it makes it so the CC lure is quite more. It's nicer. Like it would happen quite more often. But I would rather have it like this, just to make
oh,
sure it
okay,
doesn't happen. You know.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And you can have two giant bombs in this compartment for the blizzard. And as I mentioned, for the black mines, I really want to have black mines in my eagle compartment again for a potential slammer or anything that e-dragon attack that comes into the eagle compartment. And the final two I want to have right here into my single compartment as well. Just trying to make it look a bit symmetrical at the same time. And then we have the spring traps. With spring traps, when it comes to ESL, we think about ice columns, we think about headhunters, and the same thing with the actually Legend League headhunters as well. But ESL is more ice columns, I would say.
Yeah.
In this scenario, since we're building for Legend League, I'm gonna go focus more on the headhunter pathing for a potential Quincher Kilalo. Now, Hooked, I'm gonna ask you a big question. Where do you see a potential Quincher Kilalo attack on this base?
Uh,
I'm putting you on the spot.
putting me on the spot. Okay, if I was going to hit this with Queen Charge Lalo, I would start my queen at like 11:45, so right at
Mm-hmm.
the top, and with a flinger at like 12 o'clock, because the flinger will
Yeah,
go and get the eagle, and we're going to charge straight into the scatter. I should get a
yeah.
CC pull um, before the singles in range, I think. Depends on the
Mm-hmm.
angles. Hopefully my headhunter, because I'll need a headhunter to kill the enemy queen, might pull it anyway. And then try and get a wall break to the core, because then the queen can kind of reach everything. Um, and then king for like the air defense at 9, and probably just Lalo Town Hall, something like that. Or king and
Okay.
RC for Town Hall and Lalo the back end. Because
Okay,
there's.
that's gonna be a heavy charge, and the
Yep.
flinger value is quite nice. So what we do here, we can do, we see if we have potential giant bombs to play around with. We can place few giant bombs right here actually
Oh, you're a
for the
bad
Klinger value
person.
because yeah, it's important because nobody's gonna send their flinger into the king, right? So they're
Yeah.
you as you said, they'll probably charge from this side. So giant bombs right there actually, and we can have a skeleton trap right here instead of right there because probably drop an archer right around here. So skeleton trap can be there. Um, and then the charge here is going to be interesting because we're not really sure about the CC timing with the single.
Yeah.
Um,
No, you
and for
have
the
no idea.
headhunters you mentioned, probably send the headhunter from around here. So if they walk, they get flung by these spring traps, hopefully, um, and they save a CC lord. Now, also depending on what kind of CC we're gonna have, we could also add rocket loons and super minions to this
Mm.
and make you invest extra freezes, and have less freezes for the town hall, Lalo and town hall. So actually, I'm gonna potentially think because nobody in their right mind is actually gonna charge this town hall, right? Two
No.
singles, no chance. So I think it's better to have super minions in this scenario to help and charge from the other angle that the single doesn't reach. So I think actually super minions to rocket loons will be the ideal CC for this base. But again, it all depends on the way you test and what range you're using it in. And we're gonna quickly think of a Sui Lalo. I'm seeing a Sui Lalo for people that are a bit high in legends. Probably drop
Just.
the queen here. They're gonna walk for Tano. King is gonna
Uh,
walk around here, probably
sorry.
to kill the RC pixelated again. All right, should I continue?
Yes. I actually forgot what you were
Yes.
saying. Go on.
Yeah, I was thinking about the high range Sui Lalo attack on this base as well. Potentially see a queen walking to the town hall, and then Skelly's on here with king walking around for the hero, and then royal champion for the scattershot. I see that as a potential Sui, and
So
then
when
sending
you
Slammer to the single.
sorry, when you build bases for like Legends League people that well for people that come in and buy a Legends base, are you worried about Suilalu generally? Because I assume most
It,
of the
dep-
people that come in aren't.
it depends on the range, yeah. It depends on
Yeah.
the range because if it's a higher range base, we see Sui Lalo often higher range than lower range.
Yeah.
So if somebody orders a base for a high range, I will make sure that I test Suilalo and make sure that these traps actually work on Suilalo. So I'm just trying to think of most attacks right now in general attacks for this base. So as I said, Queen for Town Hall, King walking around to get the Royal Champion, and or C for the scattershot, and then Slammer to the single, and then probably Lalo from here,
Yeah.
or it might be from here. Which one do you think is more likely?
I
Do you
would
think
Lalo from the
attacker would lead
right.
Eagle?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go into the
we'll
Eagle
probably
because the
yeah,
pathing the other way is kind of split around the
yeah.
dead zone.
So we'll probably go into the Eagle. So they will most likely to avoid the king. They would place their headhunters from this side to go towards the enemy queen. So we can always place the spring traps this manner right here, just to make sure the headhunters get flung on their way to the
Oof.
queen.
I'm sure we've all
So
experienced that before, chat, when a headhunter just gets randomly flung.
yeah, and with these two giant bombs here as well, when the headhunter walks between them, he's gonna die right away anyways. So having the spring trap there is perfect at the same time with the giant bombs. Um, and yeah, and there we have it. Base is pretty much done. I think it looks pretty good. Um, it's perfect. I could potentially be used in ESL as well, most likely. I don't see a reason why not.
Yep.
Um, one thing I do recommend if you're facing a higher up clan in ESL and want to use the space, higher up clans usually would use a super minion blimp on the bomb tower because the bomb tower does nothing to it. So place two black mines right here just to pop the blimp outside. So they'll most likely send Lava Hound and then the blimp here. So place two black mines, they pop right here. They can't get to town hall in time. But if Legend League, keep the traps as they are, I say, and test it for yourself. See how it does.
There is the image for you all, chat. Yeah, I was going to say, can you take a screenshot of it for me and send it to me?
Yeah.
I'm not going to take a screenshot of an elongated image.
Yeah, no worries.
Hook, can you ask if he's baiting Blizz Hybrid for Blizz Hybrid? Did you get hit by Blizz Hybrid? I've literally never
Is
seen
that
that.
is that Dark Soul that is asked that question?
Apparently dark. Do you mean Blizz Hydra or Blizz Hybrid?
Yeah, no, no, he's talking about Blizz Hybrid. I had a big debate with him. He kept saying that Blizz Hybrid was a good attack. I kept saying no, and ever since then, we keep mentioning that Blizz Hybrid to each other. But I absolutely do not bait Blizz Hybrid. I think it's a pointless attack, and it's not good at all.
I'll help you out. I'll delete his message. That's just garbage, honestly. Blizz Hybrid. Like, seriously, you're going to put that in the chat? Can you tell him he's an insane builder? Yeah, I can. I just did. He already knows, though.
Thank you, thank you.
There's the link in chat here. I'll just spam it. Or maybe it's the wrong link. It is a Clash of Clans link, so that's important. I didn't just send like, I don't know, a Twitter link or like Amaranth's profile, something like that. I saw a question. When testing, you use a lot of different attack strategies. So what attack strategies do you use, or is that yet again dependent on the trophy level?
For Legends, yes, depending on the trophy level. And for example, I always would suggest asking the customer, what attacks are you attacked mostly with in your trophy range? So I know what attacks I'm going to focus on baiting and making sure to stop during testing. But when it comes to ESL, I always as well check and make sure who I'm coming up against. I do my research. I watch Twitch videos about the enemy clan and see what attacks they're comfortable using. And for example, I see what they constantly keep using on box spaces, and I bait that attack during testing. I make sure the attack gets minimal value, potential 1-star, or a low percentage 2-star. So it all depends who I am facing and what attacks people are mostly attacked with in Legend in their trophy range.
A man who does his research. That's what you guys get for coming to Blueprint. Did CJ's vacation inspire him to create new base designs, and if so, how?
Well, actually, it was a much needed vacation, so it might have helped. I have another one coming up in actually 2 weeks to Spain, so um, taking another vacation, which might help my base building again. So, hey,
Can you
go
take
out,
me?
experience the world. You're always welcome to join. It's in Malaga, Spain.
Okay, I'll meet you there.
No worries.
Um, Make sure to visit CCL. That's what Zoro's saying if you're in Spain.
Oh, if he's close to Malaga, I don't see a reason why not.
Oh my god, send a do a stream, the two of you. You can both build a pace for me live on stream.
My deal, he would absolutely destroy me though. CCL is an amazing builder, to be honest.
Is he still in chat? I haven't seen him for a while.
Have to make sure I brown nose the boss, obviously.
That base makes me want to go with super bowlers. I was originally thinking that laser, but I don't like the ground bows because that's what I would water walk. Like
And
water
obviously,
walk.
if you see your trophy range has a lot of super boulders attack, go for a lava hound, 2 headhunters, or lava hound ice column. The lava hound distracts the queen, keeps her in the back, while the super bowlers get in front, and it's all a mess from there. And you can play around with the Tesla farm. Actually, the Tesla farm on the queen side is quite nice against super bowlers, even for a potential king with 2 witches by himself. So
Yep.
honestly, have to be tested, and it's all dependent on the trophy range and what you get mostly attacked with.
Well, that's going to be it for today. Here is the base on my screen, so it probably looks slightly nicer. Yet again, sorry about that, but we did the best we could, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. To everyone in Twitch chat and the YouTube comments, can we get some love for CJ? It's not easy building on stream, and not only did he build, he basically talked the entire time. I didn't even say anything. I just had to sit here and be a viewer with you guys and learn. And hopefully you learnt something, so thanks for that, CJ.
No worries. Always enjoy streaming. And if you guys like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and use the code BLUE. and thank you very much for having me.
Um, and one last thing, if people want to get a base from you, how do they do that?
Oh, yes, they can always go on the Blueprint website or through the Discord as well, Blueprint's server. You can pick my name and or any other builder's name. All the builders are amazing. So honestly, pick your favorite one and see how it does for you. And I'm sure you will be happy with the base you get.